can take any time of attendance during this 1 hour. Okay, and the software is also recording the time. For example, one students come for 1 minute for the checking attendance and then he left. So this time they also recorded the time because it is set by the Delhi University itself. Okay, so please be careful, and I need your presence in my class in 100%, whether it physically or virtually. Then the point number three, with regarding to our the classes, I only talk with the Swati with regarding to if any kind of cancellations or shifted or any kind of alternative arrangement. I priorly inform to the Swati, and the Swati will discuss with you in our group. Okay, so can we start now our subject? Okay, so my name is Dinesh Taima, and I'm dealing with the industrial law from the last 4 years. And previously, I was working in the National Law University and Judicial Academy in Guwahati, Assam, as well as the Bhopal in LIU Bhopal. And I graduate and the postgraduate from the National Law School of Indian University, Bangalore. And I worked previously in the Merchant Mangaldas and Luthra. Then I joined this academics in 2015. And so this is my brief introductions. Now we are going to be discuss about the subject. The subject name is called Industrial Law, including IRDA. You previously studied the labor law. I hope you studied the labor law. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, wonderful. Half of the work is done. So the industrial law, it is again our important aspect and very interesting subject. And this subject will give you the current or actual status of our industry in India, as well as the briefly the I will discuss about the labor code which is recently come by the government and introduced by the government. But before the labor code, first we have to discuss about the constitutional jurisprudence of the labor as well as the industrial law. As we all know, the labor is the subject come under the category of concurrent list. As we all know, we have a three list: union, state, as well as the concurrent. The labor subject come in the category of the concurrent list. It means what? It means the central government as well as the state government are competent to enact the legislation with regarding to the subject which is called labor. Government are enacting or introducing a legislations with regarding to the labor welfare, or we can say government is the competent authority to enact the legislations with regarding to socio-economically welfare legislation to and for the labor who are working in the industry or other mechanism. If we look at the detail or in the wide scope of the union list, under the union list, we have three entries. Entry number 55, 61, and 65. Entry number 55, which is talking about a regulation of labor and safety in mines and oil field. The central government, for example, coal mine industry. Central government is competent authority to enact or the make regulations with regarding to safety of the labor in the mines as well as the oil field or oil industry. Entry number 61 where discuss about the disputing in the industry. For example, employer, employee. The dispute between the industry or in the industry between the labor or in the management come under the entry number 61. Entry number 65, they discuss about the various agencies they can have a role of enforcement of this regulation which is made by the central government. For example, the vocational training program or any kind of international organizations, the recommendations suggested by the ILO, these are the enforcement under the section entry number 65 of the union list. In other hand, we can say the state governments as well as central government both can make regulation for the welfare of the labor in India. Under the concurrent list, we have an entry number 22, 23 and 24. Entry number 22 specifically deal with regarding to trade unions or industrial as well as the laborer issues or dispute. Entry number 23, social security regulation. For example, insurance, bonus, gratuity, they all are enacted by the entry number 23. Entry number 24, which is again discuss about the welfare legislation. What is welfare legislation? Welfare legislations means they discuss about the worker condition, provident fund provision, specific old age pension schemes, maternity benefit, as well as the various other benefit which is given by the state government as well as the central government. For that reasons, the entry number 24, it is talking about the welfare provisions under the industrial law. Okay, let me ask you one small questions or the short questions. What do you mean by the labor? Who is the labor? Anyone can answer me? Who is the labor?
Sir, perhaps any
Yeah, so continue.
Sir, perhaps any person who is employed to perform the unskilled task.
Unskilled task. Very good. Very good. Any other? Krishna? Soumya Gupta?
So same, anyone who is getting paid for doing work in unskilled.
Yeah, paid. Very good. Very good. Siddharth Singh? Siddharth Singh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he's not there, right? Let me mark him absent. Okay. Ekta Kumari? Ekta Kumari?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, who does some physical mental work to produce some goods and services that we use in our daily life. So basically, it is done by those who are unskilled in this situation.
Who are unskilled. Very good. Very good. Harsh Pratap, could you please mute your mic?
Just a second, sorry.
Yes, Chetan. Chetan Chawla. Chal, he's absent. Let me mark it immediately. Chetan. Chalo. So, let's understand the difference or we can say the brief introductions about the industrial law. Let a word itself say that industrial law means law relating to the industry. But the industry's law are very, very wide. For example, if I say a law relating to the industrial relation, in this category, we have a two legislation. First is called Industrial Dispute Act 1947, which is going to be studied in this subject. And the second legislation is the Trade Unions Act 1926. These two legislations are relating to the industry, or we can say industrial law. Whereas Under the industrial law, we have a law relating to the wages. Under the wages subcategory, we have a three specific legislation. First one is called Minimum Wages Act. Second one is called Payment of Wages Act. And the third category is called Payment of Bonus Act.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. You called on my name. I couldn't switch on my microphone earlier.
Okay.
Name's Chetan. You'd asked me about labor.
Okay.
So I guess a point that nobody else mentioned was that they're engaged in industry necessarily,
Okay.
and unskilled people who are paid engaged in the employment of an industry.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
I guess that's the most basic
Oh.
definition.
Okay. So, second part, sorry, the third part is called the Minimum Wages Act. So, if I say the law relating to the industry, we have a two law which is called Industrial Dispute Act as well as the Trade Union Act. These two legislations are relating to the industry, whereas in the in the industrial relations part, we have another kind of category which is called law relating to the wages. Under the law relating to the wages, we have a three subcategory. Which one is called the Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Wages Act, and Payment of Bonus Act. Third category, law relating to the Social Security. Social Security means the Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952, Employee State Insurance 1948, Labor Welfare Fund, Payment of Gratuity as well as the compensations. These four law relating to the Social Security, it is another subcategory or the different part in the industrial law. Then we have the law relating to the working hours, condition of service as well as the employment. Which law will come in this category? Working hours, the Factories Act, Industrial Employment Act, Mines Act. They are major legislations with regarding to working condition. And the another category which we have, the Equal and Empowerment of Women, law relating to the equality and empowerment of women, where we have two legislations. First legislation is called Equal Remuneration Act as well as the Maternity Benefit Act. And the last category which we have, prohibited labor laws. It means the bonded labor system 1976, the child labor 1986, and the Sexual Harassment at the Workplace Prevention and Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which come recently amended by the government of India, and they enacted these legislations in the industry or at the workplace. The objective of all these legislations under the labor law as well as the industrial law is to make a policies and regulation with the enforcement or the address to the laborer who are the working organized as well as the unorganized industry. Safety, health and the welfare provisions supposed to be enacted, or they have to be addressed the social security of the labor as well as the policy, which means the target group, specifically, for example, the child labor, women, old age, working condition, etc., etc. The intention of the labor law is only for the welfare provisions to the laborers or a person who are the working in the industry or under the any specific legislations which enforced by the central government as well as the state government. The intention of these legislation, it is also provided that the adjudication mechanism under the industry dispute. Let's understand the one example so we can understand the intention of the industrial law. Mr. X is working under the steel company. The company is situated in the Ranchi, in the state of Jharkhand. He is continuously working from the last 7 years. One fine day morning, he received a letter from the management and said that you may not able to come from tomorrow onwards. This is your letter, and you don't need to become. This is your payment, which we come or settle by the account department. Do you think that the action taken by the management against the worker who working in the industry is justified? Yes or no?
No, no, sir.
No. Anyone else? Ankur. 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 He texts. I am audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Then Ankur texted me that, "Ki, sir, you are not audible."
So you are.
Okay. So what is my question is? My question is whether the action taken by the management against the worker who are working in the steel company or steel industry are justified or not. If yes, then why? If no, then how?
So no, because it's very unreasonable
Very good. It
and
is very
no
unreasonable.
notice. Yeah, no notice period was given to the said employee before
Okay.
terminating his or her
Service.
employment.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Very good.
service.
Very good. Anything else? सिद्धार्थ
Yes, sir.
या कुछ बोलना चाह रहे हो बोलो
Sir, it is the direct violation of principle of natural justice because the
वेरी गुड वेरी गुड वंडरफुल
there wasn't any notice period given, and they were not given chance to be heard.
ओके वेरी गुड विनीता विनीता सिद्धार्थ कैन यू म्यूट योर माइक
Yes, sir.
विनीता विनीता
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
या टेल मी
So it is unreasonable, and as well as it is also in violation with natural justice principle.
ओके साक्षी राजेश यस शशांक शशांक दैया शुभम पांडे
Yes, sir. It's like other students said, it's unreasonable because of he was not given a notice, and additionally, he was not given any reason as well.
Okay, very good. Yes, Vinita, you want to say something? Okay, I think this is the beauty of virtual classes. You know, if you call them and the person is not responding, so you can figure it out what's wrong with them. Okay, so let me check my connections. Connection is okay.
Sorry, were you taking the attendance right now? You called out my name.
No, I just asked you questions.
I just joined, sir, so I didn't know.
Oh, you joined right now?
Yeah, just a moment back.
It's 10:59. Good. No problem. So, okay, you can mute your mic now. Yaduvir Huda left meeting. Very good. It's such a wonderful software, na? Do you develop? They can record anything, na? Chaliye. So the question is mine ki whether the action taken by the management is justified or not. See, in a company, giving a notice or without a prior notice, the action taken by the management is totally wrong. What is the right which Mr. X is having against the management? what should be action taken by the Mr. X against the management? Anyone have answered this question? Yes, Gagandeep.
Can you repeat the question, sir, please?
The question is, what are the rights are available with the Mr. X against the management? Anyone else having an answer? Prerna?
I think he can seek the damages under Trade Unions Act as it is violation of his rights. It is the arbitrary mode that the administration has opted. So I think he can go under Trade Union Act to seek damages.
Okay, let me correct you. There is no Trade Union Act. There's supposed to go Industrial Dispute Act. See, my highlighting supposed to be what is a dispute. The dispute is the management taken a arbitrary action against the Mr. X. Now, what is Mr. X has a right? He can file a case against the management on the ground of principle of natural justice, not giving the adequate notice or any other grounds which may be referred. The highlighted word is dispute. The Industrial Dispute Act 1947, it is talking about the dispute relating to the industry. Any dispute which relating to the industry, for example, termination of service, working hours, not giving a principle of natural justice opportunity during the internal departmental inquiry. Under the Industrial Dispute Act, the law relating to the industry covered by the Industrial Dispute Act, the dispute means the dispute between the employer and employee, workers and management, employee versus employee, workers versus worker, which are affecting the industry. This is called the dispute relating to the industry. So my point is, if a person who are working in the industry or in a company, he has a right under the Industrial Dispute Act where he can adjudicate this particular dispute. I use the word adjudication. Let's understand the word, what do you mean by the adjudication? See, under section 89 of the CPC, I presume that, or I know that you all are studied the CPC. Yes or no? Ankur, yes or no? Hello? You all are studied CPC or not? Please
Yes,
answer
sir.
my question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes,
What? Oh, yes, very good, very good. What is section 89 of the CPC? Okay. Yes. What is section 89?
So notice.
It talks about arbitration or
Very good.
conciliation outside the court.
Kanishka, very wonderful, very wonderful. Good answer. Section 89 of the CPC is talking about the out-of-court settlement where the 5 kind of mechanisms are provided, namely arbitration, conciliation, mediation, judicial settlement as well as the Lok Adalat. This section 89 of the CPC said that a dispute can be settled outside the court, namely these are the mechanisms are provided. Same principles are followed under the Industrial Dispute Act. Under the Industrial Dispute Act said that we have a adjudication authority where the dispute can be settled through the negotiation, the conciliation, arbitrations, as well as the mediations and the voluntary adjudications as well as the compulsory adjudication process. Why I am discussing this particular point is, once the dispute relating to the industries are occur, how they are going to be adjudicate this particular dispute. For adjudications, they have certain kind of the procedure. They have certain kind of the mechanism. Under this particular mechanism, they have to be resolved this particular dispute. For example, the mechanism is that conciliation, mediation, arbitration. These are the mechanisms which are provided under the Industrial Dispute Act. The next important area is, once the disputes are not settled, this kind of a mechanism, what will be the next steps? How the adjudication is supposed to be done if these kinds of the mechanisms are not settled a dispute? Then the dispute of this industry are referred to the respective labor court as well as the industrial tribunal or as the national tribunal. So the point is the reference. Reference can be go or reference can be refer a dispute under the relating to the industry, or that dispute supposed to be go with designated labor court or industrial tribunal or a national tribunal. So here we discuss about the what is the nature and scope of the power of adjudication, who are going to be refer this particular dispute, whether the government is the competent authority to refer a dispute to the national tribunal or industrial tribunal or a labor court, or a party itself may choose to settle the dispute not in the conciliation or arbitration but directly to the labor court or industrial tribunal or national tribunal. What will be the scope of the reference under the Industrial Dispute Act section 10 of the Industrial Dispute Act, which we'll discuss about, which we're going to be discussed in this particular thing. After the reference, for example, a dispute are supposed to be referred to the industrial tribunal. Industrial tribunal will heard this particular matter and they have a competent authority to decide and discuss this particular matter. What will be the outcome? Outcome means how they are going to be decided. Please remember again the CPC. Section 89 say it is out of court settlement where the arbitration proceeding is done. What will be the outcome of the arbitration proceeding? The outcome of the arbitration proceeding supposed to be in the form of the award or as well as the settlement. This award and settlement, which is passed by the competent authority such as industrial tribunal or the national tribunal, that award and settlement supposed to be enforced on the disputing parties, where the dispute can be decided. But the industrial dispute, it is very, very wide scope, where the dispute regarding to industry in the plenty of different type of nature of dispute. For example, if the management decision, for example, in a company or we come with that during the lockdown, we will not give you the basic wages to the all employee, even though they give the prior notice. Do you think the action taken by the management for the not giving the minimum wages act, it is justified? Because companies say that during the lockdown, I may not able to receive profit, I may not able to give the salary to you. Whether the action taken by the management, it is justifiable, or management said that, okay, now it is lockdown process is done, so you have to come office, give your extra hours, which you not done in the month of March. जो आपने मार्च और अप्रैल में काम नहीं किया है, उसके लिए you have to put extra labor and the extra hours. But the Factories Act says that no, only 8 hours in a day supposed to be sufficient work. If you want to do the night shift, then you have to follow this kind of procedures or this kind of the requirement is there. Law is there. But the management said that no, you have to be work. क्योंकि आपने मंथ ऑफ मार्च में और अप्रैल में बिल्कुल भी काम नहीं किया है. So the internal management perspective, this is also relating to the dispute regarding to the industry or the industrial dispute or dispute relating to the industry. I give you another example, then I will wind up my class. A particular person, two employees are there. One is the a leader of one party, name is called A, and one is another leader of the party called B. Both are trade union leader. One day they both are fighting each other, and they're saying that no, in the trade union election supposed to be happen in this day only. But the opposite party said that no, this is not a correct time for the conducting an election. So they both are fight each other. Management said that you are disqualified for work in my company. आपको मेरी कंपनी में आने की जरूरत नहीं है, बाहर ही लड़ना है तो बाहर ही लड़ो. मेरी कंपनी में आके मेरा कंपनी का काम खराब कर रहे हो. इट इज नॉट क्रिएटिंग ए गुड एटमोस्फियर टू वर्क इन माय कंपनी. अदर लेबर्स इज आल्सो हैविंग इफेक्टेड. So management said that no, we have to conduct a disciplinary proceeding against both of them. Management called them or issue them notice that give your reply within 7 days. Why we not terminate your service in my industry or in my factory? Management conduct a proceeding, departmental inquiry. In the departmental inquiry, one of the party is disqualified or he was guilty of this particular act. Management, after they receive a report from the disciplinary committee, they terminate his service. He has a right to file an appeal against the court. Court said that whether the action taken by the management in the departmental proceeding, जब आपने डिपार्टमेंटल प्रोसीडिंग हेल्ड किया है, वहां का डिसीजन आ चुका है कि आपने गलत काम किया है, why they come to the court? You are the wasting the, it means the management has nothing role in the industry which we are set up under the Industrial Disputes Act 1947, और आप उस डिसीजन से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं, इसलिए आप कोर्ट आ रहे हो. So what are the use of the internal dispute mechanism which is provided by the section 34, 35 and 36 of the Industrial Disputes Act? These kind of the issue, very wonderful cases are there in the Delhi cloth mill, Tata oil mills, Keshwar Dubey versus Bharat cotton mill. Very wonderful example with regarding to internal disciplinary or internal management decision. Whereas the second part of our syllabus, which will discuss about the wages in very brief manner, what kind of the wages are there, and we will discuss about the silent features of these legislations, and we also discuss about the government of India recently amendments with regarding to the Minimum Wages Act, and the last part is called we have social security legislation. Under the social security legislations, we have a Factories Act in brief manner, or the Maternity Benefit Act, and the Labor Code Bill, which are recently enacted by the government of India for the announcement or the position of the skilled labor as well as unskilled in organized as well as the unorganized sector. So basically, our syllabus are divided in the three parts. First part is regarding to the Industrial Dispute Act, which is most and most important. Your 60% paper is supposed to be covered from the Industrial Dispute Act. Then 10% or 50%, the remaining two part means the concept of wages or the social security legislation. So we have a three part in our syllabus, which we are going to be discussed in the Industrial Dispute Act, or we can say the Industrial Law or IRDA. Okay, now I open floor for the questions. If you have any questions, please ask me. Anyone have any doubt? If you need any kind of clarification, you may ask me. You can, Shalendra, you can ask me, don't text me because I'm not able to read it.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So what's the marking scheme with respect to the three parts, like the industrial dispute, wages part, and the social security benefit?
That I will tell you end of my syllabus.
Okay, sir.
Any other question?
So,
Okay. Yes.
so which topics of the previous labor law one should we revise or like further read to understand this particular topic, sir? As I haven't studied much of that part.
Which part?
So labor law one, the last semester paper, sir.
Okay, I will send you the study material for the labor law. You may refer it. Okay. Okay. Wait a second. I will taking attendance. Okay. Mm. One second, okay? Please wait a second. Okay, done. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right now. Okay then. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.